Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bee Swarm Gaming. Yes, and today I will be on my main account. Yes, Bee Swarm Master 1. Yes, and today I am wearing one of my favorite masks, the Demon Mask. I actually love all three masks. All three masks have their own specialties. All three masks have their greatest hits in this game. I've heard some people say, well, the Demon Mask is just for fighting. Oh, the Demon Mask is just for Redfield. Oh, the Demon Mask is just for this. Or the Demon Mask works great just for these bees. And the Gummy Mask has the Gummy Morph, which is just for goo. And the Diamond Mask is just for blue bees. And it actually puts them in a category where people don't want to get the diamond mask because they don't like the blue bees, except for vicious bee and maybe tadpole bee. But then there's this stigma that the tadpole bee isn't that great of a bee. So let's put the masks to the side and let's go to the gifted bees, right? The tadpole bee is a gifted bee. The other gifted bees are the Vector, Spicy, and Fuzzy. Okay, now here's one of the things about the gifted bees. Right, here's one of the things about the gifted bees. Now, in this account, I have Tadpole, Vector, and Spicy. I'm just joking about that. I don't have Spicy. I have Fuzzy. I want Spicy because Spicy deals with flames, and man, the Demon Mask has flames. Beautiful flames, and if I had Spicy, cosmetically, it would just look great. Damage-wise and gathering, it would just be a beautiful thing. Beautiful as in damaging, beautiful as in pollinating, beautiful as in the honey money would just be rolling in. I mean, the screen says make honey. Yes, having a spicy bee would make me honey. I would just expand that or put something right under it that says money and have it flashing. Make honey, money, 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 money. That's what the spicy bee would do. Alright, so let me talk about the mythic bees. Alright, here's the general consensus that I have about the mythic bees. Alright, there's this thing called balancing when it comes to games, right? If you do one thing, then you have to do another thing. Think of it like this. If you have a hard game, it has a lot of things that you have to do. If it's a shooter game, let's say it's hard to either kill things or it's hard to aim, it makes things challenging. And the rewards that you get are very minimal. It's not that uh, rewarding because you don't get a lot. You have a easy game. It's easy to accomplish things and you get a lot of rewards. Hard game, little rewards. Easy game, a lot of rewards. Two things are going to happen. In the first example with the hard game and the little rewards, you're going to get frustrated. Why go through all this trouble of a hard game, learning it, and you don't get any rewards? It's like working at a hard job or doing a lot of schoolwork and you're not getting anything out of it, right? You play the easy game and you get a lot of rewards. It's going to get boring. It's going to be pointless. It's going to be like, well, it's doing something that you know very well and people telling you, oh, you're great at it. You're very good at it. Well, you're going to want to stop doing it because you're going to want to stop hearing people telling you how great you are at something that you know that you're great at, right? So you need this balance of a game that's not too hard, that's not too easy, and then you get rewards that's comparable to what you're doing, right? And that's what Bee Swarm is, right? Bee Swarm starts out at what looks easy but also hard, right? If you stay with the shovel and that bag, then even getting like 1,000, 2,000, and 10,000 is going to be hard. But it gives you options to get better tools, harder tools to earn. You start out and you look at the mountain, or you look at the different fields that you can get. You look at the porcelain dipper, saying, "Dang, that's 150 million. That's impossible." But then soon you have missions of more than 150 million, but by that point, you should have had the honey dipper, get to the porcelain dipper. Then you look at the petal wand. You know, there's this concept of where the missions or the quests, they're not too difficult and they're not too easy, but the rewards are always comparable to the missions and the quests. They're never uneven. They're always matching each other, right? If something is really hard to do, hard to obtain, at least when you turn it in, you see the rewards, right? If something's really easy, then the rewards are going to show it. Good example. Good example. You know which bear like I'm going to. You know which bear I'm going to because this bear has the easiest quest and he gives not the crappiest rewards, but he gives you the easiest rewards, right? Polar bear right here. This bear right here, people actually don't do his quests a lot. The reason why is because they say, well, what's the point? He doesn't give you anything. He gives you 130, 140,000 treats, and that's it. And maybe every once in a while he'll give you an enzyme or an oil. Well, here's the reason. Keep doing them. Keep doing them and you will get that 5% increase in strength or defense for your bees. That's why you do them. Let's go to a bears actually, where the quests get harder and harder and harder. This guy right here, oh yes, he starts out relatively easy, but then the things that you get from him really aren't that much, right? They really aren't that much. But the further you get, like the quest for Star Jelly, and definitely the quest for the Mythic Egg, they get difficult. But the stuff that you get rewarded quite well. And then, of course, when you make it to this zone, this bear right here, if you're like already here, you know that it's hard quest, long quest, a lot of pollinating quest. But when you return to her, you get that honey money. Oh, yes, you do. But not only that, every 10, what happens on the 10th completion? You get the spirit petal. That spirit petal can do one of three things. You get the petal wand, you can craft the petal belt, or you can give it to, you know where I'm going. Oh, yes, I'm going up here. Yes, yes, I'm going up here. You can give it to the wind chimes, and you have 100% chance of getting that windy bee. Yes, but do not make the mistake that the first donation of the cloud vials that you will get the windy bee. I have never heard of anybody getting the windy bee on their first cloud vials, but don't worry about it. You will get it. I got it, okay? I got the winning bee, and if I'm the only example of 100%, well, then let it be, okay? I just read that you're guaranteed to get it. But it's one of those things, right? If Onnit made it so it was easy to get the windy bee, then those who bought the windy bee would be upset. Those that bought the windy bee would be upset. If he made it too hard, then people wouldn't try to get the windy bee. You know, now the only thing that I don't like is that along with donating, you have to do what's known as favor, which means you have to donate other stuff. Why? Because it's almost like having the windy bee notice you and say, every time there's a donation from this individual, I'm going to pay more attention. So instead of, let's say, 600 cloud vials, you're moving closer to maybe more like 400, maybe even 300 cloud vials. That's still a lot, right? That's still a lot. There's a lot of imagination that's still going on in how to get windy bee. There's not a lot of videos out there on people who actually got windy bee because the individuals that are really well known in the bee swarm video making have already had windy bee, so they're just mostly up there donating stuff to see what they get, see what wind boost that they get, and then they go there and then they farm billions. I'm actually one that went up there and got windy bee. I didn't video it because I actually didn't think that I was going to get it. I actually got to a point where I was getting frustrated. Now windy bee is not a mythic bee, so that was kind of going off topic. What I want to talk about is I want to talk about what people call the best mythical bee, which is Fuzzy Bee. In fact, they even say that Fuzzy Bee is a OP or overpowered bee, which means that maybe one day this bee will get nerfed, which is not a good thing because we don't want Windy Bee to get nerfed, and we don't want Fuzzy Bee to get nerfed. Those are the two bees that I think are possibly overpowered. Now, I am going to give a boost, and I am going to do Whitefield, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hope that the power of Fuzzy Bee does come up, and by power, what I mean is this is what people like about Fuzzy Bee. There we go, right away. There we go. Okay, let's see. This is what's known as the haze. Now, if I can remember it, wow, it didn't even have to wait that long. And a tornado came up. Two of the OPBs had their abilities happen right away. Now, the haze. Let's read it so I'm not just guessing it. The haze. Let's go down to Fuzzy Bee. Now, Fuzzy Bee is a great pollinator. Okay? Pollinator is a great thing. My container is full like already, right? I think just from Windy Bee and Fuzzy Bee, right? I think that's the reason why. Now, a trick is to use Marshmallow Bee, brings it down a little bit, right? Because you're increasing the capacity. But let's go to Fuzzy Bee. All right, Fuzzy Bee here. What you saw was the pollen haze. Summons a haze over the field for 30 seconds that pollinates up to 30 random flowers every second and improves flower growth rate. Bomb tokens within the haze are automatically connected and may pollinate flowers. If there has been a pollen haze over the field within the last 3 minutes, this summons fuzz bombs instead. Okay, so let's take that first part and let's basically break it down into normal talk, because Onnit obviously has to write all of this into a more technical talk, because, hey, if we talk like Bee Swarm, all this other jumbo talk, it would be so unnormal. You know, hi, I have a Fuzzy Bee, and this is what Fuzzy Bee does. Yes, that yellow stuff that you saw, it summons a haze over the field for 30 seconds that pollinates up to 30 random flowers every second and improves flower growth rate. People would be looking at me saying, what? Can you say that again? Now, what that really means is like, look, when that goes over the field, it's acting like a sprinkler, all right? It's acting like a sprinkler. If you have bald spots on the field, okay? If you have bald spots on that field, you're going to see a couple of things. That haze pops up. You're going to see these white things start to sparkle from the ground. And you're going to slowly see that field start to fill up again, right? And you're going to see the flowers getting bigger, right? That's to improve the flower growth rate. It's going to have what I call super flowers, right? So that's what it does. That yellow haze comes up, it acts like a sprinkler, and it makes super flowers, and it does it for 30 seconds. That's what it is. The haze, sprinkler, and it makes super flowers. That's what it does. The other stuff that Fuzzy does, it makes these pollen balls, these fuzz balls, and they go around. You hit them, you get pollen, and it pollinates, which makes other flowers grow. So it does two things. Makes flowers grow, and it gives it pollen. So just by itself, this is how mythic bees are. Mythic bees are great without being gifted. They're great. They're great by all of them. All of them. Even Vector Bee. I don't really like Vector Bee. Vector Bee is kind of selfish. Even his gift is kind of to himself. But he's a colorless bee, and a lot of the other tools, they focus on making the gifted bee better. You know, the lion bee, you gift him, that's +2 attack. I believe with everything, you can get Vector Bee gifted up to like a base attack of like 26. So it's pretty good. He is a good attacker. He's fast. He's good. If you get him, don't be disappointed. Don't switch him out. Keep him. He is a straight attacker. He's focused. He's a good bee. Anyway, let's get back to all of the gifted bees. Just by themselves, they're good. You don't need to gift them. If there's other things in your hive, and trust me, if I go through a hive and you have Fuzzy Bee, we're just going to focus on Fuzzy Bee. You have Fuzzy Bee, and let's say it's Fuzzy Bee, Tabby Bee, Music Bee, Rage Bee. I would dare say any other type of bee, right? And you got a star tree, and you're like, oh, okay, oh, I want that Fuzzy Bee because he actually looks kind of cool. You gift him, and he looks like Gandalf, Gandalf the bee. You're like, I want to gift Fuzzy Bee. All right, granted, you get the pollen haze. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know that's a cool thing. It looks cool. I mean, it covers the whole field. It looks yellow. That's a really cool thing, right? Then you look at his other gifted high bonus, a times 1.1 bomb power. I think Bomber Bee is actually stronger, right? Bomber Bee, I think, is even stronger. Demo Bee is definitely stronger, 15% bomb pollen. Bomber Bee down here, 15% bomb pollen. I mean, so these bees are the ones you want gifted for bomb power. Fuzzy Bee doesn't really do anything for bomb power. Now, the reason that they do that is you can't have a gifted bee that's both good without being gifted and then become even greater with the hive gifted. That's what I mean by if you have something great, you can't make it greater on the other end, or you're just going to think that the bee itself can take over the game, right? So you look at Fuzzy Bee and say, you know, I can actually play with this bee without it being gifted, you know? Because when you gift it, even with its gifted ability, Pollen Haze, you still have to get the token. And remember, the token is based on the bee ability, which means that you're going to have to get some sort of amulet that has a high bee ability rate. So its gifted ability is still going to be based on other things that help it out, right? Because otherwise, you may be waiting a long time for that yellow haze to happen, and it only stays up for 30 seconds. So that's why with Fuzzy, don't worry about it being gifted. It's a great bee all by itself. Be happy that you have it. Now, when it comes to the point where all you have is Fuzzy Bee to be gifted, go ahead. Level it up though. Level Fuzzy Bee up. It becomes really good every time you level it up. And as you will find out, just like with buying hives, and you know this, every time you buy a hive, it's not like proportional. Things get drastically more expensive. Same with leveling things up. Good thing though is that whenever you level a bee up though, it's comparable to the cost. Things become a lot better. Anyway, that's kind of like my say so like on Fuzzy Bee, Mythic Bees, and just bees like in general, and showing you the yellow haze. Fuzzy bee is great. I'm glad to those who have it and those who don't have it. I want you to have Fuzzy Bee, but remember, there are options to not having Fuzzy Bee. Tabby Bee ends up being the best farmer out there, and Tabby Bee has other gifts. Tabby Bee has a gifted ability that is one of the best. 50% critical power. The only other bee that has the other 50% is Looker Bee, which is a rare bee. People don't think about that, but they should. Okay, a rare bee has the same as a event bee. So start looking around at your other bees and saying, okay, what bees do I have to or really should gift? Gift Looker Bee before you even do Fuzzy Bee. You know, I get these questions like all the time, like, what should I gift? What should I gift? I go to their hive, and first of all, they have like 35 plus bees, and maybe 10 is gifted. Let's say 15 is gifted. And I look, and I know some of it is luck. Some of it is through star treats or star eggs, some star treats. And I think about the choices that they made, and I'm thinking like they did this because they either read it on Google, which is kind of like unreliable, or they saw a video on it, which is somewhat unreliable, and maybe my video is unreliable. But what I'm going off of is one, mistakes that I made on my first account, but I'm also going off of it by the rare bees. If you look at their gifted abilities, help out the whole hive for the beginning, which builds up to the later games. The other bees either help themselves or just a very specific type. The rare bees and the epic bees generally help the whole hive. Think about it. Think about your hive. Think about what you want. The event bees you don't need to gift right away. I would even say that for vicious bee. People always say, as soon as they get vicious bee, I'm gonna gift vicious bee. I'm gonna gift up fuzzy bee. I'm gonna gift up whatever bee I get on my commando mythical egg. Don't. Hold on. Wait. Vicious bee has spikes. Vicious bee, level him up. I guarantee you, you get Vicious bee to like a level 10. He is really good. There is no other bee that has the area of attack that Vicious bee have. Why would you want to gift him? There's no reason to. Have Vicious bee with some lion bees and some demon bees, and you got a pretty good attack team. You don't need to level him up with a gift. You don't need to. There's some bees you don't need to level up. I would rather level him up and gift Gummy Bee, and you don't even need to gift Gummy Bee up. But at least Gummy Bee will double the goo that he drops, right? There's a lot of other bees that I would rather gift because they increase blue pollen collection. One bee that people neglect because they think it's not that good to gift is Music Bee. Music Bee is 25% more pollen for the entire hive. No other bee does that. 25% more pollen. Carpenter Bee, the tool, increases pollination for the tool. Just read it, think about it. You don't need to gift mythical bees. Keep them the way they are. I know you see videos with people with gifted mythical bees and vicious bees and all this other stuff, but if your attack total is under 500 and you have 35 bees, there's something wrong. There is something wrong. You have not made your hive right. I'm not throwing salt. Don't think I'm throwing salt. All I'm saying is that take a look at your hive and say, am I in my lane of play? Am I getting the honey money that I need? If it's hard for you to go through Spirit Bear and Black Bear, and you have 35 plus bees, then you need to reorganize. Okay, you need to reorganize. That may actually take you longer, but it's going to pay off in the long run. Alright, see you guys in the next video.